Have you ever wondered how you would fare if the power grid failed tomorrow? Picture this, a blackout not just for a few hours, but days, weeks, or even months. The cause could be anything from a natural disaster such as an earthquake or a hurricane to a cyber attack. But perhaps the most chilling of all is the prospect of an electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, attack. In a world where we increasingly rely on technology, the complete failure of our power grid would be a catastrophe. Suddenly your phone's dead, the lights are off, and your fridge is just a box. It's not a question of if, but when. That's why it's crucial to be prepared. In this video, we'll explore 8 practical solutions for generating power in the aftermath of an EMP attack. From solar panels to wood gasifier generators, we'll arm you with the knowledge to thrive during any blackout. So let's dive in and learn how to keep your home powered and your family safe during a power outage. First up, we have solar panels. A simple yet elegant solution, solar panels work by capturing sunlight and converting it into electricity. This is achieved through the photovoltaic effect, where photons from the sun knock electrons loose from atoms, creating a flow of electricity. In a post-EMP world, solar panels can shine as a reliable source of power. They're silent, produce no harmful emissions, and best of all, the fuel source, sunlight, is free and abundant. However, they're not without their limitations. The efficiency of solar panels is dependent on the amount of sunlight they receive. This means during the night or on cloudy days, their output is significantly reduced. Additionally, solar panels require a substantial upfront investment. But if you're in a location with plenty of sunshine, they can pay for themselves in the long run through reduced energy bills. Solar panels are a great way to harness the power of the sun, but they are not the only option. Next, let's talk about wind turbines. The concept is quite simple, really. Wind turbines operate on a principle that goes back to the days of old windmills. The wind turns the blades, which spin a shaft that connects to a generator and produces electricity. This power source is a real contender during blackouts. Why? Because wind doesn't rely on the grid. It's an independent, renewable source of energy. It's there, blowing around us all the time. Even during a storm, the winds can be harnessed to generate power. However, it's not without its drawbacks. Wind power requires, well, wind. If you're in an area that doesn't get a lot of wind, this might not be the most efficient option for you. Additionally, the turbines themselves can be quite large and require a good amount of space. Wind turbines are a reliable source of renewable energy, but they require certain conditions to work effectively. Moving on to hydroelectric generators. This form of power harnesses the force of moving water to generate electricity. Picture a water wheel or a turbine spinning as water rushes against its blades. That's the basic principle. The spinning motion then drives a generator, which converts mechanical energy into electrical energy. Now, hydropower is especially useful during a blackout since it can operate independently of the grid. It's also renewable and emits no greenhouse gases. However, it has its challenges. For one, you need a consistent source of flowing water, like a river or a large stream. Secondly, the initial setup can be quite costly and technically demanding. But if you live near a water source and have the resources, hydropower can be a highly reliable and sustainable way to keep your lights on when the grid goes down. While hydropower is a powerful and reliable source of energy, it requires specific geographical features to be effective. Now let's discuss battery storage systems. You see, these systems are like your own personal power grid. They store excess energy produced by your solar panels, wind turbines, or hydro generators, and release it when you need it. This means even when the sun isn't shining, the wind isn't blowing, or the river isn't running, you'll still have a reliable source of power. Imagine a giant power bank for your home, storing energy during the day and releasing it at night. Sounds fantastic, right? But there's a catch. Battery storage systems require regular maintenance. The batteries can degrade over time, reducing their storage capacity. Plus, they can be pretty expensive up front. Yet despite these challenges, battery storage systems still offer a reliable and renewable way to ensure you have power when you need it most. Battery storage systems are a practical way to store energy for use during a power outage, but they require regular maintenance to remain effective. Next, we have hand crank generators and bicycle generators. Imagine a world where your own physical strength is the key to unlocking the power you need. That's the essence of hand crank generators and bicycle generators. Both these methods tap into the kinetic energy generated by your movement and convert it into electrical energy. Let's start with hand crank generators. They're compact, portable, and ready to use at a moment's notice. All it takes is a few turns of the crank to generate power. Inside the device, your manual effort is converted into mechanical energy, which then spins a magnet inside a coil, creating a magnetic field that generates electricity. The main benefit of a hand crank generator is its simplicity. There are no complex parts or processes to worry about, and it's a great tool to have in your survival kit. However, the drawback is that the power generated is relatively small, and it requires continuous effort. Moving on to bicycle generators. Picture your regular bicycle, but with a twist. As you pedal, you're not just moving forward, you're also creating energy. A bicycle generator works on the same principle as the hand crank generator, converting kinetic energy into electricity. The only difference is that the energy is generated by the pedaling motion. One of the key advantages of a bicycle generator is the ability to generate a significant amount of power. With a properly set up system, you can charge batteries, power lights, or even run small appliances. The main drawback, much like the hand crank generator, is the need for continuous physical effort. But on the bright side, it's a great way to stay fit. In conclusion, while hand crank generators and bicycle generators require continuous physical effort, they offer a reliable and practical way to generate power. They're easy to set up, use readily available resources, and don't rely on fuel or sunlight. While hand crank and bicycle generators require physical effort, they are a reliable and practical source of power during a blackout. Finally, we have wood gasifier generators. These fascinating devices operate by transforming wood or other biomass into a gas that can be used to fuel an internal combustion engine. The process is relatively simple. Heat the wood in a low-oxygen environment and it releases volatile compounds. These compounds are then cooled and filtered into a cleaner gas, which can run an engine or a generator. So, what makes a wood gasifier generator such a compelling choice? First, it's a renewable source of energy, provided you have access to a steady supply of wood. Second, with a bit of ingenuity and DIY spirit, you could even build your own. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. The major drawback is the need for a constant supply of wood. Plus, the gasification process can be somewhat inefficient. Although wood gasifier generators require a steady supply of wood, they are a reliable and sustainable source of energy. So those are the 8 ways to generate power after an EMP attack. It's a lot to take in, isn't it? But don't worry, we'll run through them again briefly to help solidify these concepts. First, we discussed solar power, an abundant and clean source of energy. Harnessing sunlight using solar panels is a reliable way to keep the power running when the grid goes down. Second, wind power came into the picture. Wind turbines, whether large or small, can generate electricity even when the sun isn't shining. Third, hydroelectric generators were highlighted. If you're lucky enough to have a stream or river nearby, this method can provide a consistent and renewable source of power. Fourth, we touched on battery storage systems. These units store excess power produced by your renewable systems for use during the night or on less productive days. Fifth, we explored the world of hand crank and bicycle generators. These require some elbow grease, but in a pinch they can provide the power you need. Lastly, we delved into the fascinating world of wood gasifier generators. A bit more complex, but these units can turn wood and other biomass into a gaseous fuel that can power a generator. Each of these methods has its own benefits and drawbacks, and the best solution will depend on your unique situation. The key is to start exploring these options now. Being prepared isn't about predicting the future. It's about being ready for whatever may come. To thrive in a world without power, you need more than just a plan. You need knowledge. And that's what we've aimed to provide here. I encourage you to delve deeper into these power generation methods. Remember, the key to surviving a power grid failure is preparation. Arm yourself with knowledge and you'll be ready to face any blackout scenario.